time will you be home tonight?
When I've finished.
If I wanted a sarcastic answer, I would have asked for one. Will you be home for dinner or not?
Well, what time is that?
Same time it's been for the past 3 years. 6 o'clock?
I'll get a takeaway.
It's a bit early for that, isn't it?
It's Saturday today.
So?
Do you really think I want to spend my weekends at the office? A girl's body was found last night.
So they want you to go in on your day off?
Guess so. So you got any plans for today?
Oh, just the gym, maybe lunch with Becky. Bye.
Right. Yeah. Okay then. Right, I'll call you back, okay? Thanks. Jesus.
What do you say?
That girl they found.
Yeah.
It was only her birthday, wasn't it? 15th.
Not a very good birthday present then. I mean, my 15th birthday. Got one of those inspector games, you know what I mean. Now, it doesn't really mean that much to me, but 10 years ago, it's all I could ask for. My brother was so jealous.
Yeah. I always found dead girls funny too.
It was her birthday, man.
15th.
I know. I stopped by forensics earlier.
Yeah.
Sick fuckhead is way there first.
Any leads?
Well,
Yeah.
teenage will be back about 2-ish, but until then we really can't do anything.
Speak for yourself. Mitchell, there's some friends and relatives that need interviewing. You take care of the friends, I'll do the relatives.
Yep, no worries.
I guess you don't like kids then?
With all due respect, Friedman, I'm just not in the mood to talk to a bunch of distraught teenagers.
Even if it solves the case?
You ready, Mitchell?
Yep.
I'll give you a lift.
Just get my carrots. Oh, and Friedman. Get on to forensics, yeah?
Aye, Captain. Oh, you're up then? Alright, that's cool. I would wish you some luck, but I don't think you really need it. And remember, don't pull a muscle. Alright, see you later.
What's that? Looking for good thirst?
Yeah, that one's a real toughie.
I'm sure it is. Have you tried that one there?
No, to be honest, I don't think that's going to how to use it.
Don't worry about that, let me show you. Your seat, madam?
Oh, thank you.
Now, put one hand here.
And the other hand here.
Wow, you're learning fast. Now, put your arms together, keeping your back straight and your feet on the floor.
No, see, I can't do it.
That's because it's on the highest way.
Put it down then.
Now,
Oh my god.
That's it, you're doing it.
I'm doing it.
That's it. Keep going.
Dude. You know I have a husband.
When's it there for you, Sarah? Tell me, when was the last time you made love to you?
No.
Those kids seem pretty shook up. Can't say I blame him really.
I want to interview her uncle again.
You think it's him?
Not sure. It's just something not right.
You say that about everyone.
It's because the world's not right.
Fuck me, Davison. Any sick, heartless piece of shit could have done this.
It's just an inkling. Been right before.
You've also been wrong.
So the DNA didn't bring up any matches then?
Must be a first-time offender.
Not necessarily. Do you know how many cases like this go unsolved each year?
Approximately 2,500, according to national statistics.
You've only gone for a few minutes. Where I felt physically sick. You've only gone for
Do you have a mobile?
It's 2007. Every teenager was on mobile.
Has her inbox been checked? Maybe the guy knew her.
Nah, besides a few texts from her mum and a couple from friends, it was empty.
Maybe she deleted the text. But you never know, it might have been texting her.
What are you trying to say? Some guy was grooving her.
But I would check my girlfriend's text. It's not because I'm paranoid or anything. It's probably because anyone could be texting her.
I trust my wife.
Hey, it's not my girlfriend I don't trust, it's just the people around her.
You're just gonna pop to the loo.
Who is he?
Who's who?
George.
He's just a friend.
Don't lie to me, Sarah. I've seen the text.
What are you doing going through my phone?
It was a good thing I did, wasn't it? Who is he?
It's just George. George Frieden, a friend from the gym.
Jesus Christ. What happened to you last night?
I've got a case to solve.
Anthony! Anthony!
You alright? Still up for the pub tonight? Alright, I'll see you there then. So how's the job going?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's cold being outside all the time, but you know, it's all good.
You got that pay rise yet?
Hopefully it's coming in the summer sometime, I think.
Anyway, about the affair.
Yeah.
It's worked, so I think it's about time we called it off.
Well, to be honest, Charles, I don't really want to. I think I actually like it.
George, you knew the plan. Why does it have to be so difficult?
It's all about you, isn't it, Charles? Ever since we were kids, your life, your career, your feelings. Well, what about me, eh? What about me and my feelings, eh?
Hopefully, Reef's will be there already, so we can tell them what we know, which is practically nothing. Tell them about the phone call as well.
Friedman.
Charles? Charles?
What are you doing here?
There's been a murder.
You're doing me?
What are you doing? You're under arrest for the suspected murder of George Friedman.
Get him
You
up.
have the right to remain silent.
Get him off there,
Anything
Anthony.
you do say,
Get
will be held
up.
against you in the evidence of
Get him
court of
up.
law. You know the rest.
Get off me, you prick!
Get up! Come on. Hey, Charles, you know we have no choice. Hey, lay off him a bit, Ant. Come on.
Get the car open, Mitch!
If you're innocent, mate, you'll be out by the morning. Get him in. Just lay off him.
This is Patrol
What's
Car
this
3,
about? What's this
DCI
for?
Mitchell,
For
DCI
fuck's
Davidson.
sake.
Suspect found for the Truro City multi-storey car park murder. We'll be back to the scene in 20 minutes.
Boys.
Do we really need to be here staring down a corpse?
Listen, we don't know for sure it's Friedman. From my looks of things, this place is a hotbed for clues.
Alright, Mitch, but I don't want to stay a moment longer than I have to.
Same here. I'll inspect the body. You can have a look around here.
Guess listen, if I can't refuse.
You don't want these first, mate.
So, boys, what you got for me?
Got a watch, broken glass bottle, the murder weapon, not to mention a shitload of blood.
That looks familiar. Hey, Mitch, come take a look at this.
Freeman's watch.
Case closed as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure the fingerprints on the bottle will match Freeman's.
Right, I found this coin. It's certainly not English. Looks European to me. Possibly Russian.
It's probably been for days, maybe even weeks.
Well, the fact is, I found it at the crime scene. The least I should do is take it to forensics.
Okay, you follow up the leads on a European coin while I bring the murder to justice, yeah?
You're impossible, Davidson.
Alright, boys, let's wrap this up. I'm tired.
Right. What's the lowdown?
The fingerprint on the bottle of Magnus matches that of Friedman's, and his DNA was found on the watch.
There's no need to test the watch. We all know it belongs to him.
He was smashed over the head with a bottle before having his throat slit. The autopsy revealed that there was not much of a struggle, probably because of the initial blow he got from the bottle.
Got to hand it to Freeman. It was almost a clean kill. But I guess he was better when he stuck to the right side of the law.
Yeah, from that coin I gave you.
Well, it's Norwegian. No clear fingerprints, unfortunately. It's about as interesting as it gets as far as the coin's concerned.
You satisfied now?
Guess so.
Oh, speaking of coins, this might be of interest to you boys. I found this the other night in George's pocket. Altogether, it's about £5.
Sorry, John. I'm not allowed to accept bribes.
I don't know if this has anything to do with the murder. I was just doing my job.
Well, thanks, John. We appreciate your help. We'll get back to you sometime tomorrow after we've interviewed Freeman.
I've got a feeling this one would be hard to solve.
Interview starting at 11:17 a.m. I'm DCI Mitchell. This is my colleague DCI Davison. For the benefit of the tape, would the defendant please give their full name?
Charles Allen Friedman.
So, Charles, what do you have to say for yourself?
I didn't do it.
I think the evidence would suggest otherwise, Charles.
Why did I kill my brother? My own flesh and blood. There's no possible motive.
Charles, what were you doing walking away from the murder scene?
I think that was pretty obvious, Mitch. I know I wouldn't stay by my victim till the cops came.
No, Ant, let's not jump to any conclusions, eh? As far as I'm concerned, this man's innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid I don't share the same sentiments.
Let's not turn this into some good cop, bad cop bullshit, okay?
I was just meeting up with him.
In a dingy car park.
We had an argument earlier that day. It's where we go to discuss relationship problems if they ever go wrong.
So you're trying to tell us that you was meeting up with your brother in a dark, dingy car park? Just to talk?
It's quiet there. No one can listen in.
What I think you're trying to say is there was no one there to hear you kill him.
Why were you really meeting up, Charles?
I think it's about time I told you the truth, Anthony.
Told me what?
About your wife's affair.
How do you know about that?
It was my idea. I wanted to go off the rails, do something stupid, so I could finally take your job.
Charles, why would you do such a thing?
Nice plan you had going there. Until I failed to take the bait. Then you had to take matters into your own hands, didn't you, Charles? I'm not sure how you were planning to frame me. But it doesn't really matter now, does it?
What were you thinking, Charles?
Just because I set up the affair doesn't mean I killed my own brother.
Well, it proves one thing, doesn't it, Charles? I can't trust a word you say. I think we're done.
Interview suspended at 11:27 a.m.
Mitchell! I didn't do it.
Bastard!
I'd appreciate it if you knocked next time.
There won't be a next time. You're under arrest on suspicion of the murder of George Freeman.
On what evidence, Inspector?
Don't play games with me, Nicholas. Or should I say, £5 killer.
Get out of my house. You're making a big mistake.
Shut your mouth. Right, you take him to the car. I'll grab him some clothes. Right. He's gonna need them. Well, what we can say is basically what we've already said to you. Come below.
What's he doing here? Get him locked up.
I think it's time we all took a trip to the cells, don't you?
You go for the tits, Mitch.
The act is over, Davison. It's time for the grand finale.
Look, I don't know what you're talking about.
You want nicked, you slag.
What are these for?
You're coming with me.
Alright. I'll come down to the cells. You just take these off. Please.
Wow. It seems this whole thing is a lot more complicated and sinister than first thought. Lies, deceit, revenge, and ultimately, murder. I'm sure you've all got your side to this story, so let's get on with it, shall we? Freeman, if you will.
In hindsight, I guess my brother's death was partly my fault, but I didn't think this would happen. Me and George, we hatched a plan. I wanted to seduce Sarah, drop hints to Anthony so he'd find out. George was a bit of a ladies' man, and funnily enough, he went to the gym and he knew Sarah. So the plan was working perfectly, or so I thought. George received a text off Sarah saying Davison found out about the affair and had contacted me immediately. He told me to meet him down the pub, so I accepted. The meeting didn't go too well. Got into an argument about how he didn't want to end the affair, and it got kind of heated, so I ended up storming out.
And what did you do after you left the pub?
I headed home. I'd already had a few drinks, so I decided to have some more. Then I received a text from George, asking if I was willing to meet up with him in the car park. I was so angry with him, putting my job in jeopardy, but I agreed anyway. As I was approaching, I thought to myself, why am I here? So I started to turn back. I was just too angry to face him, and the intoxicated state I was in, I didn't want to cause any trouble. Cowardice and selfishness is crimes I did commit. But murder, it's just not in my blood.
You put your career in front of your family, Charles. And as a result, you now only have your career. Just. That's more than I can say for you, Davison. You've got a lot of explaining to do.
I didn't know George personally, but when Sarah mentioned his name Freeman, I knew exactly who it was. Our marriage hadn't gone smoothly over recent months, but I love my wife. When she told me about the affair, I was devastated. I didn't know what to do. So I turned to drink, as I always do when I'm run down, or emotionally unstable. All night, I sat up drinking and drinking, wondering what I could do. And the only thing that kept coming to my mind was revenge. I didn't know about Charles's plan until he told us when we interrogated him. Then I thought, maybe I could gain benefit from this. By killing George and framing his brother, I'll be getting rid of the man who's sleeping with my wife, but also eliminate the competition for my job. Charles has been after it for months. And by making him prime suspect in a murder case, my job security would dramatically increase. I'm not a killer, and I'm not capable of murder. But there are plenty of people who are. And a police station is the perfect place to find a killer. After all, we have over 50,000 of them on file. I came across Nicholas, a notorious killer, responsible for many high-profile hits, but currently keeping a low profile after a 7-year stint in prison. No one had seen or heard from him for months, so I noted down his contact details and got in touch. We then met by the train station to discuss business.
So that's who you were talking to?
You saw me?
I saw you, all right. I couldn't quite catch who you were talking to, though.
In order to frame Charles, I needed several clues that would point the finger at him. It was only down to fortune that we saw him walking away from the crime scene. I stole Charles's watch from the locker and gave it to Nicholas, along with George's home address. He demanded a high fee for the kill. I told him money was not an issue, as I knew I'd get my money's worth. I received a phone call from Nicholas at 9:26, telling me that the hit was successful. I told everyone else that I received a phone call from a witness telling me that they'd seen someone being attacked in the car park. So we set off. And as we were pulling into the car park, we seen Charles. I couldn't believe my luck, you know, but I stayed cool. Whilst others went to the crime scene, me and you stayed back and took care of Charles, as anyone seen walking away from the murder scene was treated as a suspect. And I knew, with the evidence that Nicholas had laid, he would be seen and proven guilty. It turns out that Nicholas exceeded expectations. There was a smashed bottle of Magnus at the scene, which had Charles's DNA on it. But there are a few clues I didn't anticipate. One being the foreign coin, the other being the money in George's pocket. The foreign coin seemed irrelevant, but once I realised the money added up to £5, I immediately recognised its significance.
Well, the £5 killer strikes again. I was somewhat intrigued by the money and the foreign coin, and my suspicions were raised after you did your best to deny their importance. But they were important. In fact, it was the £5 that led me to the truth. After finding several articles on the £5 killer, I took my chances and ordered his arrest. We spent several hours chatting, and he confessed everything. It seems this case is coming to a close. All that's needed now is for your story, Nicholas. But first, why £5? Why did you leave £5 in the pockets of every one of your victims?
I moved to England with my parents when I was 11 years old, hoping for a better way of life. But soon we were stricken by poverty. One night, we were burgled. It seemed silly for someone to rob a family in poverty, but I guess this man was as poor as us. When someone thinks of a burglar, there's a very stereotypical view on this. Let me tell you, this view is both ignorant and glamorized. This man was wearing normal clothes, a man you'd see in a queue or walk past on the street. I saw this man. I looked in his eyes as he robbed us of everything we had, and I did nothing. I cowered in a corner as he went about his filthy business. He didn't even care that I watched. The guilt and shame was unbearable. And it was with me for several years, eating away slowly. One night, I was out doing some chores with Mother and Father. To my astonishment, I saw the man. I looked at his eyes, but he did not know who I was. But I know who he was. I knew that on that night, I would get the chance to redeem myself. I followed him, and to my fortune, he turned down an alley. I knew I would get my chance. I creeped up on him as slow as I could, my heart beating. I pulled out my penknife. It felt cold in my hands. Without any remorse or mercy, I slit his throat. My first instinct was to take his wallet, take back what he had taken from us all those years ago. As I did this, a £5 note fell and gracefully landed on his body. There seemed to be something poetic about this, so I left it there. It was almost a sign of forgiveness. I was a 15-year-old murderer. But the thought of killing for money compelled me. It felt as if that, for once in my life, I was doing something useful.
And soon you became one of the most notorious hitmen in the underground, leaving a single clue.
£5.
So you've been out of jail after some months, after serving 7 years of free life sentences.
Money can be very persuasive, Detective Mitchell.
Well, I guess that's what persuaded you to do this murder then.
Mr. Davidson's call was most surprising, yet equally exciting. We talked about the head of the station and discussed my fees. Being a notorious hitman, I was able to charge a considerable amount. Since coming out of prison, money's been tight, so I couldn't resist. Mr. Davidson informed me to plant several clues that would make Mr. Friedman look guilty. He also gave me George's address so I could begin my work. A good hitman will always stalk his target for hours before making the hit. Much like a lion stalks his prey first. I followed George into the pub where he met up with you. The two of you started arguing, and I knew that I could use this to my advantage. The man who came and took away your empty bottle was not the bartender. It was me. I knew I could use it as false evidence. When you stormed out, George stayed at the pub for several hours, drinking and occasionally texting. I presume one of them was to you, asking to meet up? He left the pub and headed towards the car park. I knew the time was nearing. The car park was a perfect place, empty and dark. As I saw him standing there, I seized the moment smashing a bottle over his head and slitting his throat. If you're wondering, he died quickly. Mr. Davidson gave me strict instructions not to leave my signature clue, but that was not an option. After all, I am the £5 killer. In order to prevent suspicion, I used some money from my own pocket. As I was taking it out, this must have been when I dropped my coin. That coin is the only thing I have left from Norway, so I'd be most appreciative if you could return it to me.
I'll see what I can do.
I made the call to Mr. Davidson before making my exit, blending into the shadows like I have done so much over the past 20 years.
I'm sorry I had to cover this, Charles. There's been a place open in the field. I know I can't bring George back, but promotion's yours if you want it.
Thanks, Mitch. I can't take the job. My brother's death was my fault, and I've got to live that for the rest of my life. Brotherly love is something that can't be replaced.
Why does my heart feel so glad? Why does my soul feel so glad? Why does my heart feel so glad? Why does my soul feel so glad? Why does my heart feel so glad? Why does my soul feel so glad? Why does my heart